So we're here at the beautiful Park Chateau in the central part of New Jersey. Central Jersey is a thing. We're gonna do the unboxing right here. We're gonna set them up and we're gonna try them out at a real world wedding with over 200 people in a pretty large ass ballroom. So buckle up, enjoy the ride, and let's have some fun. So real quick, before we continue with all the antics, I wanted to paint the picture for you, with the whole situation. So this isn't my wedding. This is actually Jeff Scott Gold's wedding. He also works at SCE with me, one of my colleagues, one of the GOATs, great wedding DJ. And I worked with him instead of doing my own wedding for a couple reasons. Number one, I didn't have a wedding coming up in a little bit and I was eager to get this, review done. But number two, I kind of wanted to not worry about a wedding while reviewing these speakers. I wanted to just be a fly on the wall, not have to worry about any of that responsibility and truly listen and hear and, see if I like these things. So I thought this was the best possible situation, especially since this wedding in particular was at a huge ballroom. This place is like probably 10,000 square feet, 15,000 square foot ballroom, something like that. Very big, 40-foot ceilings, and then a lot of people, over 200 people. So this is definitely the ultimate test for these speakers because this is like a bigger wedding than most weddings are, right? And on top of that, we also had a couple live musicians working with us. We had an electric violinist and we also had a saxophonist. So you had Jeff screaming on the mic, you had the live musicians playing over top of everything, and you had the music that had to bump for 200 people in a large ballroom. The ultimate test for these bad boys. And I figured they could pass this test, they could pass any test, right? So let's see what happens. They're heavy enough. Dude, this shit's so... Oh, there's 2 holes. It's got 2 holes. I was hitting the gooch right here. All right, so I'm sure you guys want to hear all the geek shit. For the geek stuff, we're going to go to Future Nick in the studio. All right, we're going to go to Future Nick in the studio. He's going to explain all the geek stuff. Thank you, at the gig Nick. So let's first talk about the LD Systems ICOA 15A. So the ICOA 15A is a full range 15-inch loudspeaker, 128 decibels max SPL, and a 1200 watt peak power. I really like the overall look and design of this bad boy. You can use it vertically or horizontally, and the little logo turns so it doesn't look weird when you're laying it on its side, which is pretty cool. And it also has 4 grips to help you pick it up. You have 2 on the sides and 2 on the tops. They're all like super solid aluminum, and they have this like rubber thing on the inside, to make it nice and comfy when you're picking it up. And not for nothing, you kind of need it because this bad boy weighs in at a whopping 53 pounds. And it's not a wood cabinet, by the way. Woo! The boy is heavy. Next, we're pairing these with the LD Systems ICOA 15A subwoofers, and these things are animals. Same 4 handles, just like the other ones, make them nice and easy to move around. Not too heavy compared to other subwoofers. You're right around 100 pounds, 97-ish pounds. And these things have a max SPL of 133 decibels. They're 2400 watts, 600 watt RMS, and get this, the frequency goes down to 29 hertz, which is stupid. Like, I'm not going to lie, which means essentially is it can hit a way lower note than, your favorite DJ sub. For most subs anyway. Like that's pretty low for this bad boy. A couple of the miscellaneous things. It's made out of plywood, so it is a wood cabinet. You don't want to have a sub without a wood cabinet. If you see a plastic sub, run, in my opinion. And it also has the M20 thread for your pole for the top, which I'm a big fan of. Threads are way better than the things that get inserted. Those holes get kind of loosey-goosey eventually. The thread holds up a long time, and it's a super sturdy hold for your tops. But enough about all the technical stuff. Let's head back to the gig, and let's see how they sound. So we got them hooked up. Now we're about to test them. We're basically running them separate. So instead of linking them together, we're gonna run each one as a separate channel, like 2 subs, 2 tops. So 4 separate XLRs are going into the external mixer. We have a QSC touch mix we're running it through. And right now Jeff is ringing everything out and kind of figuring out the best settings for this so we can get the best possible sound, especially in a big ass room like this. So the lows actually push really loud. So he's running them a little less than 0.
Yeah, right?
Bringing down the lows. They bump. It's unreal, actually. I'm surprised they are that loud.
1, 2, hey, check, 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 2, 2. So this is sailing over. So I feel like my voice is sailing through the music, which is okay. 2, 2, 2, 2. Check, 2, 2. Yes. so for intros, you'll definitely push them a little bit. I think you're just playing along with music. I think they carry well. Gonna see how they're gonna be like when we start doing mic work with it.
Now, we got them all set, we got them EQ'd, they sound great, way better than I thought they were gonna sound, honestly, and I'm very, very excited to hear them play for the real deal, an actual wedding with 200 people, because that is the ultimate test, and that's about to happen. Here we go.
A big round of applause for Mona in the corner. Yeah, give them high fives. Oh, make some noise, make some noise. Here they come, here they come. Hands up, here we go. 3, 2, 1, go!
So the wedding concluded, but we still had one more test, and that was the after party. If you're not familiar, sometimes on the East Coast, we'll have after parties at our weddings, and basically the wedding gets done and all the soul survivors, right, all the people that are left migrate to a different room, and then they have an additional after party with an open bar and some drunk food and whatnot for like an hour, hour and a half. People want to keep it going. Sometimes it's chill, sometimes it's not, but we usually use a smaller setup for this, and I thought this was a perfect opportunity to give the ICOA 15A tops an additional test. So we set up just one of them in the room, and we tried it out for the after party, and let's talk about everything. I really, really like the system, and overall, I would say I'd give it a 8.7 out of 10. And I base that on the overall quality of the speakers compared to the price of them. Because you got to keep in mind, these tops are $600 a piece. The subs are about $1,000 a piece. They're a little under $1,000 a piece. So this is a very, very, very affordable system. And I think in the category that it's in against any other speakers at a comparable price, they literally crap all over all of them. Like there's not even a comparison. We tested them to the max. We literally had them pretty much maxed out. And I got to tell you, we hit the limit. Okay. A couple times we hit a point where the speaker compressed and then everything got a little lower when it hit its limit. So there's definitely a built-in compressor that kind of saves it from you blowing the whole speaker and everything. And that happened to us during the night. And, it was a little tough because we had a bigger room, a lot of people and everything. So, we had to be very careful. Once we started really rocking and really had to push them to the limit, we were riding on a thin edge. Not going to lie. Okay. That's just what happened. But you got to understand, we had 40-foot ceilings, 200 something people, and we are so loud playing EDM music with the microphone, with the live musicians, everything else. I mean, it's a lot to expect from such an affordable setup. So the fact that they didn't actually catch on fire and blow up gives me all the confidence in the world to recommend them to most wedding DJs, because most wedding DJs aren't doing events this size, right? If you are doing private events and typically you got 150, maybe 200 people at the most, but 150, 100 people, and you're working, medium to small size rooms, these speakers are going to be insane. They're just going to be insane. Like you can't beat it, like especially in the low end. And that is the biggest thing that like cheaper speakers lack, not to say that these are cheap, but if you're going to spend $1,000 on a sub, the sub's not going to bump like this does. This is including RCF's $1,000 sub. If you listen to EV's $1,000 sub, like I'll name all the brands right in a row, QSC's $1,000 sub, they do not have the low end that this LD system sub does. It's not even close. Like it's insane how much more powerful this sub is compared to anybody else in its price range. Insane. Okay. And you'll see, you you don't believe me, go check it out yourself. Now the tops, same thing. Tons of low end. I don't know how they do it. Like it really does have a ton of low end. So if you are the type of person that aren't trying to bring a subwoofer, that you just rather have two tops and keep it pushing, these 215 tops are perfect to run without a subwoofer. Unless you're in like a super huge room, they are going to sound great and you're going to have all the low end you'll ever need. And it's pretty impressive for $600 a pop. How powerful they are. You really can't beat it, So if you're starting out or you're just looking to get a solid, robust system, but you're not trying to break the bank, I truly recommend these speakers. Like I can't say enough about them. And later on when we used them in the after party, it bumped. We used one 15A top. It bumped for 60 people. He was playing EDM, hip hop, everything. You could feel the bass. It sounded so good in that smaller room with a smaller amount of people. It's a really great value, solid setup, so many cool features. The look is great, and just overall, you can't beat it. LD knows what they're doing over there. They're not messing around. So bottom line, this is by far the best dual 18-inch sub, dual 15-inch top system for under $4,000, even under $3,500 that I've ever heard in my life, like by far. So if that's your budget and you're looking to get a more robust system, a bigger system, if you're DJing your private events with a smaller system and you need a little more bass, a little more kick, this system is for you. You will not be disappointed. I sure as hell wasn't. So shouts to LD. Thanks so much for sending these to me. I appreciate all you guys for watching. If you have any questions or comments, leave them in the comment section below. And I appreciate you all. See you at the next one.